Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game FoCuS versus Fantafiction. This game taking place here on Last Refuge 1.5. FoCuS spawning as the blue orc on the bottom left-hand side of the map, opening things up with a Blade Master. Meanwhile, Fantafiction opening things up with a Death Knight. Already at that 2-minute mark, so let's go ahead and get underway. As well, time is of the essence here this morning. Blade Master going to clear out this 3-3-3 creep camp. We do see a Voodoo Lounge here, but only one Orc Burrow, so FoCuS should be taking to tier 2 here momentarily. Back off to the north side, Fantafiction, has that Death Knight. He did not sell that Scroll of Town Portal, and is going to be using that Rod of Necromancy to perhaps try and clear out some more green creep camps, and then make his merry way around. Actually, no. Fantafiction actually going straight after this Forest Troll High Priest creep camp first. Alright, Forest Troll High Priest going to get cleaned up here. Going to get taken down. There's a Death Coil to try and get that last shot, but I believe the Blade Master was still able to get that killing blow. Meanwhile, Ghoul, Ghoul trying to retreat back here. And it looks like he will be able to do exactly that. Both sides just exchanging a little bit of blows once more, as that Ghoul is now down to 127 hit points. Are we going to see a Death Coil on that Ghoul? We need to see a Death Coil on that Ghoul. Otherwise, it will get taken down. Yes, it does end up being saved. 188 hit points, one split moment shy, as the Blade Master and Death Knight are exchanging blows back and forth. Death Knight didn't want to hold the position there against that Blade Master. Blade Master actually having 8 armor, a lot more survivability than you would normally think at this stage in the game, even with the Death Knight having increased passive regeneration on that Blight. Alright, Undead helps, I guess. Yeah, Fantafiction, a name that I recognize, but I haven't cast in quite some time. Going up against FoCuS, a player who never really left the scene. Let's see how things are going to be unraveling here. Blade Master testing the waters. Fantafiction trying to, just use ghouls to his advantage, trying to swarm out his opponent. It makes sense that Fantafiction hasn't transitioned into trying to use the Crypt Lord if he wants to do this go wide strategy, as a lot of the meta has changed in the past 6 years. Coming back through, Death Knight now trying to make its way back around. However, the Murlocs are just spreading the poison across all of the undead units, not really applying it to the grunts either. And poison on a go wide army is actually very, very dangerous, as that go wide army ends up having a lot of hit points on a or low hit points on a lot of units. That poison slowly ticking away over time across those units there. Meanwhile, Blade Master now trying to transition over, perhaps trying to get some damage onto that Ogre Warrior. Ogre Warrior gets taken down. Blade Master unable to get that last shot there. FoCuS trying to retreat back down to 137 hit points. He has Dust of Appearance still applied to him. He has to be very careful, as the Death Knight, still sitting at level 1 after all this time, doesn't have Unholy Aura. Blade Master still playing a little bit of a dangerous game. Dust of Appearance has, disappeared from him, so the Blade Master is able to get in some easy damage, as that Ghoul tries to retreat back, but still getting stuck up against that unit there. All right, Blade Master down to 78 hit points. Oh, Nerubian Tower shot would have actually, or the Halls of the Dead shot would have actually given the Death Knight enough time to get some damage onto him and perhaps finish him off with that slower movement speed. Breaking away from that right there, that Halls of the Dead, applying that slow debuff on that low hit point Blade Master could have been just the right amount of slowing for the Death Knight to take down the Blade Master and get to level 2. Instead, Blade Master survives, healing salve, regenerating those hit points, and now being backed up by a Shadow Hunter. He still has Speed Scroll to get away. Well, yes, but that would be a little bit more micro, a little bit more timing, and all it takes is, one misstep, right, for an opportunity. But I do agree, Equix, yes, good catch there. He does have that Speed Scroll. Blade Master also having 11 armor at this point, so very large damage reduction overall, as we see Hex quickly going down onto, well, a Ghoul there. Ghoul trying to retreat back. Death Knight going to get a Death Coil off on that. A Ghoul there to try and get the save, as we see a potential surround on that Blade Master. Blade Master now using that speed scroll, as mentioned, to get away with that wind walk to break that surround. 29 supply compared to 34. Both sides still, well, I'm looking to see how they can find ways to get ahead. Blade Master now going to be creeping this Ogre Magi creep camp at the Goblin Merchant Shop. Meanwhile, Fantafiction going after the top left-hand side should also be getting in some sending in some obsidian statues to help, well, strengthen this army. Backlit better than not lit. Really? Really? All right, let's see. Let me try and... Oh, I'm going to go auto camera for a second. All right. Coming back through, Shadow Hunter, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability used in time. However, Death Knight using a Cloak of Shadows right there and buying the Dust of Appearance. So the Death Knight is acting as a bit of a wall, as the Blade Master now going after the Lich. A lot of low hit point grunts trying to get away, as well as the Obsidian statue is now there, offering a bit of protection again for that Lich as well. Death Knight now showing back up, as we could be getting into a little bit more engagement. Obsidian statue going to continue to heal. Blade Master trying to finish off some skeletal warriors as those units meet back. All right. Backlit. I don't know. I think it's like bad camera lighting and whatnot. Apparently, well, I guess if a lot of the streamers out there are selling their good looks, then of course they needed to be properly lit. But I'm not trying to sell my good looks, because, well, I found the one person who actually thinks I look good and married her. So that's all I need, right? Anyways, Death Knight coming back around alongside that Lich, gonna go ahead and try and engage, take things down. Take things down here as, well, a little... Was that a little too sappy? I'm sorry. Coming back through, Tauren Chieftain, level 1 endurance. Seeing reactions better than proper lighting. Coming back through, Death Knight, Lich gonna get ready to engage here. Death Knight gonna turn back around and perhaps go after the Forest Troll Trapper, Ogre Warriors, and coming through, Dark Ranger is going to be that third and final hero, picking up a Tome of Agility, and now with that Lich, perhaps getting Frost Armor and then Dark Ritual, the Black Arrows could very much make a very big deal. Back down to the south side here, Ogre Warriors, all of these units going to try and, well, Ogre Warrior, Ogre Magi making their way down. Blade Master going to try to join in on this fight. Tauren Chieftain, Shadow Hunter. So it's a 3-on-3 hero fight. Quick silence across all the units here, but a quick hex onto the Death Knight, who's also in that front line. Both frontline heroes absorbing quite a bit of damage, as the Death Knight now tries to escape away. He's going to get hexed. He's down to 62 hit points, down to 65. He's able to escape, as the Blade Master's Potion of Invulnerability should be coming to an end. There is a Death Coil onto the Shadow Hunter. Shadow Hunter ends up getting taken down. He's trying to deny the experience, unable to do that. Meanwhile, the Death Knight still running around in circles here. Kodo Beast, well, with the Scroll of Speed, trying to chomp on some units, as the Death Knight still looking to head back here down to 71 hit points. All right, Tauren Chieftain is leading the charge. Death Knight now going to get healed up by that Obsidian statue as he continues to retreat back, as the main armies are still fighting their way through. Kodo Beast, nothing in its belly. All right, Shade keeping close tabs here. Death Knight with that Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Kodo Beast trying to chomp down on a ghoul, not going to work out well. Meanwhile, Shade is keeping track of here. Death Knight of Fantafiction could be in trouble, and what does he do? He uses a Potion of Healing to try and stay alive again. All right, Obsidian Statue going to provide a little bit more healing. There's a little bit more damage absorbed there, as Fantafiction is just all over the place right now, doing damage and attacks galore. Coming back through, Death Knight now down to the south side here, going to try and clean things up. Blade Master going to go after. There's some Spirit Link healing across multiple units again and again, as the Death Knight still running around in a circles. And today it looks as though over focus on heroes may become maybe one of the defining factors in today's replays, as focusing on one hero and ignoring the rest of the army dealing damage could end up becoming a problem. Shadow Hunter now sitting at level 2, going to get some healing wave off, keeping that Blade Master alive, and in this game, 44 supply compared to 43. Still engaging here. Death Knight getting close to level 3. Lich is at level 2. He has gotten Frost Armor. With that Frost Armor, the Blade Master's effectiveness will drop considerably, not only for the additional armor, but that auto attack debuff there. Level 3 now on the Death Knight. He's picking up a Sobi Mask as well to be able to get off plenty of death coils and continually heal out all of these units. Black arrows will be added in once more, and with those black arrows, well, the Forest Troll Trappers and all of these units here, excuse me, all of these units are going to turn into lesser dark minions, ensnare onto an obsidian statue trailing in the back. You do not want to be losing these very, very expensive 3 supply units as a Book of the Dead quickly being used there. Book of the Dead used, however, Devour Magic quickly gets that destroyer back up to full and that mana ready to rack up some damage against all of those units once more. Could have actually just attacked these skeletal units to try and gain just a bit more experience, as so many of these, well, skeletal units getting quickly taken down. That Book of the Dead really not helpful at all.
A player's forces are under attack.
Death Knight now down to the south here. Lich nearing or halfway to level 3. Dark Ranger, well, will he get level 2 Black Arrows? That is the question. And, well, level 3 will open up level 2 Frost Nova. Death Knight still in that frontline spot. Going to go ahead and burst down that Ogre Lord. Ogre Lord trying to break free as we now see, well, Kagar's Pipe of Insight, a weakened Brilliance Aura on the Undead. But that is the thing that item that they always want to see, as it extends the longevity of their obsidian statues. Oftentimes in long drawn out games, Undead ends up getting obsidian statues that no longer have any mana, and then therefore can only transform into destroyers for usefulness. With with the Kagar's Pipe of Insight, we are now looking at the obsidian statues getting an additional half mana regeneration per second, which does add up over a long 20-minute game. All right, coming back over here to this 9 o'clock spot, we're still looking at more Tauren Chieftain and Shadowhunter trying to clear out creep camps. Blade Master sitting at level 3, Shadowhunter sitting at 3, Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 2, as this creep camp easily cleared up by FoCuS. Fantafiction, 57 supply compared to 50. FoCuS staying in no upkeep so far, and still training up some additional Berserkers. Coming back through, dual obsidian statues. Death Knight sitting at level 3, now going to clear out this high ground Ogre Magi creep camp, trying to get to level 3, or excuse me, level 3 on that Dark Ranger. Already reached level 3 on that Lich, as that Death Knight may actually take a little bit too much experience. There's also triple obsidian statues here, and Fantafiction actually having the time to try to tech into Frost Worms as well. All right. Teching into Frost Worms as well, as the units are now making their way back and forth. All right. Undead, 50 compared to 51 supply. Is he going to be ready for the Frostworms obsidian statues? There are no Crypt Fiends in this army whatsoever, surprisingly. Only Frostworms, ghouls, dual obsidian statues, and this army still works because, well, you have your heroes and those obsidian statues for that nuking power potential. Second Frostworm going to be added in once more. We're looking at 62 supply over 70. FoCuS realizing the size of Fantafiction's army, quickly breaking into low upkeep as well, and ready to do some damage. Coming back around, Gargantuan Sea Turtle gonna do some creeping here, ensnare onto that Gargantuan Sea Turtle so that the Orc doesn't have to run all the way into this back alley. That is often a big problem, trying to get stuck in this position right here, as a couple of those Murlocs are just going to get easily cleaned up. However, off on the bottom right hand side of the map, same thing is happening, and well, FoCuS must realize that he's not going to be creepjacked here anytime soon. Item Pure of Vitality now dropped for that Tauren Chieftain, north of 1,000 hit points already, and ready to get into that frontline position. All right, coming back through, skeletal minions trying to cause a little bit of disruption here on some of these peons. Frostworms getting ready to go. Dark Ranger going after Forest Troll High Priest. Shadowhunter, well, trying to lay some damage down, or at least land an early Hex, perhaps to catch a unit out of position. Blade Master now trying to lead the charge here. No Orb of Lightning on the Blade Master, even though there are a handful of air units as well. Death Knight also benefiting from healing wards, so those healing wards could provide a bit of additional cover. But remember, healing wards do I believe they do a percentage-based heal, so they are better for those Crypt Fiends and Abominations. Will we eventually see a transition into Abominations? That is the follow-up question here, as somehow Fantafiction is making one-based Frostworms work. All right, one base Frostworms with a nearly high upkeep army, but somehow he's making this work, as the Blade Master scouting out sees that there is no expansion. Expansion is up and operational for FoCuS, but that does also mean that FoCuS has more workers and then also has less of an army overall. 71 compared to 55. Interestingly enough, there's only one peon on lumber right now, so we may be running into a lumber shortage in just a little bit. All right, Shade now keeping track of that frontline Blade Master. We're looking at 433 compared to 433. All sides pretty much even. There is no upgrades on attacks that I see, absorbing a bit of mana early on, as we are now down to one Obsidian statue when there was 3 originally. All right, Destroyers having large amounts of mana, going to try and burst things down. Berserkers are not going into that Berserker range, as they know that splash damage will cause them to take significantly more damage. All right, in comes a giant stun from the Tauren Chieftain, but the Berserkers are still able to find their targets pretty easily. Level 4 on the Shadowhunter. All right, low hit point Destroyer, healing ward in the back, or difficult to spot, finally getting taken down. That's what was keeping those Destroyers alive for so long. 850 hit point Destroyers staying alive for forever and a day. 57 supply compared to 51 now, as those headhunters and raiders were able to finish off those Frostworms. All right, no more healing wards to be placed down anywhere. There goes another Obsidian statue. Dark Ranger gets up to level 4 now, continuing to fight their way through as grunts are getting taken down, and now it is just a massive army of skeletal minions out here on the battlefield. 61 supply compared to 38, and that is the reason why you do not feel the army difference. It is all of these skeletal minions and dark minions out here on the battlefield, adding in just a bit more damage, as all of those Berserkers, 2 supply units and low hit point units do turn into skeletal minions rather easily. Tauren Chieftain continuing to fight their way through. Death Knight, Blade Master still exchanging blows. Death Knight could be in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't have any way to really heal himself. Does have a potion of lesser invulnerability though, as he's trying to make his way back around. All right, couple more Death Coils, going to find another Raider there. Blade Master not going after the Death Knight, who does have frost armor and a potion of invulnerability, so he is still at least safe for now. More damage racking up. One Berserker trying to rally up next to that Blade Master. Blade Master going to wish that he was a little bit closer to the action. 44 supply compared to 62, as Fantafiction looking strong, but is only running off of one base. 20 gold a second compared to 7 does account for a lot here, as we should be looking at more units trying to get trained up, but are they just going to come in a steady single file line? That is the question. Death Knight could get a Death Coil off onto that Lich. 400 hit point heal with that armor, going to make a big difference there. Meanwhile, Tauren Chieftain finds another stomp against a bunch of skeletal minions, but that's not going to turn into that much additional experience just quite yet. Shadowhunter sitting at 4. Blade Master sitting at 4. Both sides still fighting this out. 65 supply compared to 48, as another Spirit Walker falls. Frostworm going to get a Death Coil there, trying to stay alive, as the Blade Master does have that Orb of Lightning to try and deal, but there was a Dark Ritual there, as the Lich now able to perhaps burst down a little bit more damage. Potion of Invulnerability used on the Death Knight, as both sides still fighting their way through. 58 supply compared to 40, as the Shadowhunter about to get taken down. No, he gets healed up in time, as the Obsidian statue now going to get taken down as well. Death Knight still trying to back away down to 200 or 100 hit points, down to 79. Blade Master may be able to finish things off. Death Coil to try and finish out the Blade Master, but the Blade Master gets a Windwalk strike right after. Both sides still fighting their way through. Lich could now be in trouble. Blade Master going after the Lich. Lich has a potion of lesser invulnerability. Blade Master has a potion of lesser invulnerability. Both sides trying to fight their way through and stay alive in this battle here. 53 supply compared to 34. Death Knight will get resurrected back at the tavern, most likely. No, gonna take quite a bit of time to get that much gold since we are at low upkeep, as the Black Citadel is now getting unsummoned alongside some of these ziggurats to get that last bit of gold. All right. Undead trying to bring everything together. He needs to get this obsidian statue back out there onto the battlefield. Without that obsidian statue, the hit points are just not going to be flowing enough, so to speak, and not getting enough mana. 58 supply compared to 45. An orc still mining off of one base. Slow and steady wins the race. And is that going to be enough, that one base, to overcome, well, what is right now a 19 supply difference in terms of army? Coming back through, there's that obsidian statue. It needs to provide those heals. Acolytes are here, 58 supply over 60. Fantafiction, you can actually unsummon more buildings. It doesn't matter if you're upside down on supply now, and just buy plenty of scrolls of healing, and Fantafiction could be able to outlast, but he cannot just sit back. The longer he sits back, or he just waits, sits back and waits, he is going to be in trouble, as his opponent is just going to continue to make up that economic advantage. Already sitting at 50 over 82 supply compared to 58 over 60. Wow. And now coming back through here, Death Knight ready to move on over. Shade gonna scout this position out here once more. Here we are ready to go. Blade Master ready to try and deal this damage. 58 supply compared to 50. Who's going to win out on this battle? Ghouls are in position. Torrent Chieftain going to try and lay down a stomp, but gets silenced already. Frost Nova straight up onto some of those berserkers in the back, as damage is already racking up. 48 supply compared to 54. Both sides fighting their way through. Lich not landing a Frost Nova really yet anywhere, as the destroyers are trying to take down many of those berserkers. Level 5 now on the Death Knight. Fantafiction looking to build that lead and continue to build it, as he seems strong so far. All right, more damage racking on up. A couple of destroyers getting ensnared. They could get taken down. One destroyer finally getting taken down there, but level 5 on that Lich. Level 3 Frost Nova is on the table, as the Shadow Hunter falls at level 4. Raiders are getting taken down. There's a stomp following the ensnare. Death Knight could be in trouble. Death Knight is the glue that's holding this army together, and as the obsidian statue is not getting focused yet, there's another stomp onto the Death Knight. Death Knight now down to 200 hit points. Does he have frost armor? He does. He's trying to dance around here, try to get a little bit of separation, as the Torrent Chieftain is now currently low on mana and unable to get down that necessary stomp. Dark Ranger continuing to fight their way through. Meanwhile, Death Knight off to the races down to the south, double backing around. 39 supply compared to 26. Death Knight is trying to outrun, and is currently outrunning that Blade Master, even though he has Windwalk. There goes a Berserker up in the frontline position, as we see a Purge now go down onto the Obsidian statue. That could be a big loss there. There's a Absorb Mana, beautiful last-minute effort by Fantafiction to try and get a little bit of usefulness there, as both obsidian statues are now down. All right, if the game does go long, it looks like FoCuS should be able to outlast, as there is still plenty of mining going on at the expansion at the 10 o'clock spot. 36 supply compared to 36, but still an 7 or 9 supply advantage in terms of army coming from Fantafiction. All right, more units need to get trained up here. Shadow Hunter needs to get back there. Raider needs to get back there. More units are being trained, so FoCuS actually has a much smaller army, as 8 supply of his 25 supply army is currently being trained. Death Knight down to 125 hit points. Is he going to get taken down? Yes, Fantafiction going to lose the Death Knight, and that may be the beginning of the end there. The Blade Master, no, however, going to fall as well. Both sides losing level 5 heroes already, as the Lich and the Dark Ranger are now going to try and clean up this expansion here. There is perhaps enough mana for the Dark Ranger to have enough black arrows to get enough of these big minions out here onto the battlefield. Lich also needs to be using Dark Rituals to try and maximize that mana as well, as we are seeing now. All right. More and more skeletal minions going to get generated here, now going after this Great Hall. 28 supply compared to 33, as the Shadow Hunter is about to make its way back out onto the battlefield. This Great Hall about to get taken down. Shadow Hunter, however, back out onto the battlefield, and this is still anyone's game here, as the Blade Master, Torrent Chieftain, and Shadow Hunter are going up against one Obsidian Statue, Lich, and a Dark Ranger, with a handful of destroyers in the air. And an anticlimactic ending. Fantafiction just leaves the game, perhaps suspecting that he cannot win out against 3 heroes, especially without that Death Knight. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Here's the final scores for you. And this is all the time I have today. Thanks, everyone.